Okay, so hello guys, my name is Christian and it is a great honor and a pleasure for me to welcome you on behalf of the UniGreen Alliance and of course our Warsaw University of Life Sciences. So the topic of today's lecture will be, are you green? What does it mean? You know, I wanted to make it a little catchy, right, for promotion purposes, but of course I am gonna talk about it. I am gonna talk about what does it mean being green, but most of all I wanted to show you some practical methods for calculating our ecological footprint, our carbon footprint. So later on we will see some online calculators and I will invite some of you, of course, if you will be willing to join me here, and we're gonna calculate some of your ecological footprint here online. So, I will be remiss if I didn't mention something about the UniGreen Alliance, but first some topics or goals of this presentation. So, of course, we need to say what is to understand the concept of ecological footprint. I think most of you mostly heard about the carbon footprint, right? It's a more popular term, but of course ecological footprint is similar, so we're gonna know the differences between the two of these terms. Next, I wanted to demonstrate you how to measure, why it is important to measure our ecological footprint, not only by us as individuals, but by our organization, companies, etc. After that, I wanted to present to you our UniGreen Ecological Footprint Compensation Program. It's a strategy for mitigating our carbon footprint in the whole UniGreen Alliance. And at the end, as I mentioned before, I wanted to talk about the practical methods, practical calculators, so each and every one of you could do the calculation yourselves and answer the question, are you green? So, our prorector, Professor Marta Mendel, already mentioned about the UniGreen Alliance, but I wanted to say a little more about this whole initiative. It is an alliance of higher institutions, of higher education institutions and universities that focus on specific topics, especially sustainable agriculture, green biotechnology, and environmental and life sciences. So the UniGreen Alliance is based, of course, in Europe. There is 8 universities that participate in this endeavor. So we have a university from Portugal, Spain, France, Belgium, Italy, Bulgaria, Iceland, and of course in Poland. But all of these universities share a common vision. Yeah, they are committed towards promoting excellence in education, research, and innovation, and are deeply involved in the sustainable development. So, as I said at the beginning, I wanted to show you what an ecological footprint is. So the shortest definition, as you can find, the ecological footprint is just a way of measuring human impact on the environment. But of course we have a more scientific definition, which was formulated in 1996 by Walker, Nagel and Rees, and I will read this definition for you. The ecological footprint measures the human impact on the biosphere by estimating the amount of biologically productive land and water area required to sustain the consumption of a population or economic system and to absorb the wastes generated by its production and consumption activity. So, as an example, it will be, of course, the transportation, the food production, but of course the main part of an ecological footprint is a carbon footprint. So I think the term that you are all familiar with, but let's go into details how to distinguish the carbon footprint from the ecological footprint. So the ecological footprint is of course the most broader term, because carbon footprint may focus on measuring the CO2 generated by activities, while the ecological footprint measures the all of the gases and renewable and non-renewable resources. Yeah, the carbon footprint only includes carbon emission numbers, while the ecological footprint all of the greenhouse gases. And we can say that carbon footprint directly impacts the climate changes, which were already mentioned here before, while the ecological footprint impacts continuing life on Earth. Yeah, it sounds a little grim, I know, but let's continue. So the next part of this presentation will be why it is important to measure our ecological footprint. So as you are all aware, the carbon dioxide emissions are the primary catalyst for the acceleration of climate changes. So measuring our carbon footprints give us the crucial data regarding our environmental impact and serves as a vital stride towards achieving sustainable growth. Also, quantifying our carbon footprint enables us to pinpoint the specific regions where we produce the highest number of emissions, so we can focus our mitigation strategies on these regions first. Yeah, additionally, not only the companies or organizations, but also individuals such as ourselves who actively work towards minimizing their carbon footprint can display a genuine care for the environment and enhance their reputation and foster community engagement. Also, as you know, climate change is a significant and formidable global obstacle. So through the surveillance and mitigation of emissions, we can actively contribute to worldwide endeavors aimed at minimizing adverse climate effects. And at the end, the most important part, so comprehending the consequences of our action is becoming a crucial component in implementing effective measures for sustainable development. So now I would like you to look at these charts, of course, maybe only this first one, when we have a global carbon emissions from fossil fuels in the 20th century. So as you can see, we started at the point of 500 million metric tons of carbon in the year 19th, and over 110 years, we go to the 10,000. So 20 times more carbon dioxide is released from fossil fuels in 100 years. So the climate scientists believe that the global greenhouse gas emissions must be cut down by 70% until 2050. Yeah, so until the 2050, we need to, so around here, we need to move this emission down to 3,000, yeah, 70% down. If we can achieve this goal, there is a chance of limiting the increase in global mean temperatures to 2 degrees Celsius above the pre-industrial levels. And I'm sure you are aware that every degree increase in temperature can produce increasingly unpredictable and very dangerous impacts for people and agro systems. But maybe let's not be so grim, shall we? Let's move to something lighter, some everyday activities, everyday products. Let's check how your lives can contribute, how much carbon dioxide do you produce. I'm sure every one of us, maybe not everyone, but most of you like to start the day with a cup of coffee, right? I know I am. So are you aware that 1 cup of coffee can produce around 0.2 kilos of carbon dioxide equivalent? Yeah, because it's not only the final product as the coffee in our cup, but there are environmental implications like during growing of the plant, transporting, roasting, packaging, all the energy used for all of these processes. Well, it's really nothing comparing to the beef, right? Because as you can see, 1 kilo of beef can produce almost 27 kilos of carbon dioxide equivalent. Yeah, this is, of course, from animal husbandry, the feed production, transport, slaughterhouses, and meat processing. So it is a very amazing product. Well, I'm sure every and each one of you owns a smartphone, right? So producing one smartphone can result in around 80 kilos of carbon dioxide equivalent. Most of these 80 kilos come from extracting raw materials for building smartphones, but also the manufacture process, transportation, and energy use in the whole operation. And of course, the other example, plastic bottles, the PET bottles, one 0.5 liter bottle can produce around 0.2 kilos of carbon dioxide equivalent by manufacturing process, transportation, and inadequate recycling. And what of other daily routines like driving a car? Only 100 kilometers journey by car with the motor fuel emissions can produce around 20 kilos of carbon dioxide equivalent. It's not only burning the fuel, but also vehicle production, vehicle maintenance, etc. And the last, the use of electricity, of course, varies depending on the method of energy production. It can vary from 1 kilowatt can produce from 0.2 to 1 kilo of carbon dioxide equivalent, 0.2 if we get the electricity from solar panels, and 1 kilo if we get it from fossil fuels. So let's move on to the UniGreen Ecological Footprint Compensation Program. So what does it mean, Ecological Footprint Compensation Program? This is a part of the UniGreen strategy because the UniGreen Alliance is, of course, involved in many activities, but one of them, the one that I work with, is focused on ecology and, of course, the compensation program. So we want to compensate all of our mobility or of the Alliance the mobilities, and we're going to do it by something that is called the tree planting projects. This is highlighted for a reason, because later on I'm going to show you how a single tree, how much carbon dioxide can it capture and how much can it mitigate. So in this footprint compensation program, the tree planting projects will be the highlight. And now let's move to the program itself. I know this slide looks horrible. Please don't worry, I'm not going to talk about the specifics. I just wanted to show you how complex process it is. So we have 8 steps in our program, from establishing a baseline, defining the organization boundaries, defining greenhouse gases of interest, the emission sources, data collection, calculation methodology, emission factors, and software tools. So basically, what's the point? The point is that, of course, all the Alliance members are in Europe, but we are very different. We are different cultures, different policies, and it is not as easy as it may sound that all of us will gonna agree on the strategy to mitigate the ecological footprint. We can just walk around the campus and start planting trees. It's not that easy. There are policies involved. We need to have a special preparation. So basically this strategy aims to first check the legal status, check all of our partners, if they are doing something to mitigate their ecological footprint, and then when we're gonna gather the data, we're gonna establish what tools we're gonna use in mitigating and offsetting programs. So the Alliance members decided that we're gonna use something that is called the Greenhouse Gas Protocol. I don't know if you heard about it, but the Greenhouse Gas Protocol is a very, very popular initiative. It was launched in 1998, and it provides a foundation for more sustainable climate strategies and more efficient, resilient, and profitable organizations. So this protocol develops special standards that are most widely used accounting to measure, manage, and report the greenhouse emissions. So in our UniGreen Alliance, we're gonna use the Greenhouse Gas Protocol. So the goal goals of the Greenhouse Protocol are very basic. It's mostly to simplify things. So to simplify and reduce the burden of measuring and report. So there are many calculation methodologies, believe me. They are very complicated. There are special formulas. I don't want to bore you with details. But the Greenhouse Protocol produced one standard for everyone, how to calculate it, how to report it, and after that, how to mitigate it. And thanks to all of this, the Greenhouse Gas Protocol has become one of the crucial tools for companies and organizations aiming to monitor and to report their climate impacts in accordance with international standards. So how does it work? Of course, I don't want to go into much detail, so this is the most basic instruction about the greenhouse gas protocols. It's divided into 3 scopes, Scope 1, Scope 2, and Scope 3. So the Scope 1 and Scope 2 are on the level of the company or organization itself. So the organization is responsible for reporting. In Scope 1, reporting all direct emissions, like company facilities and vehicles, etc. While Scope 2 are all indirect emissions, like from purchased energy, heat and cold, or steam. And Scope 3 is part of something that is called the value chain standard. So these are also indirect emissions, but not included in Scope 2, but they occur in the chain of the reporting company, including upstream and downstream active emissions. So they will be like transportation, processing of use of solid products, investments, franchises, end of treatment, etc., etc. So, we have the boring part over, and now I would like to do something more with you, to include you more in this presentation. So I would like to show you 5 calculators to measure carbon footprint or ecological footprint. There is a difference. So of course there are many more. These 5 I chose for you because for me they are the most basic, and they allow you to check your own ecological footprint, because many of the calculation methodologies are aimed for companies, for organizations, for businesses, not for individuals. But every individual, like you and me, can contribute to the mitigating of a carbon footprint. So let's do it. First of all, we're gonna start with the carbon footprint calculator. So maybe this one I will do myself to show you how does it look like. Because it requires some of the data to input. So this is based on the 1 calendar year, so last year, and the first part is the household carbon footprint calculator. So I have a little notes here because I get it from my bills. So how much electricity did I use? It was about 3. And the natural gas that I use for heating my home was 26.76. So I don't have a heating oil or coal or LPG, propane, wood. I only use electricity and natural gas. And now let's move to flights. So I didn't go anywhere last year, so we can skip the flights, but I am using a car, and I'm driving around 20,000 kilometers a year, and my car is average van, average car. It has a petrol, and average petrol car. So we calculate and add it to our footprint. I'm not using the motorbike, bus and rail. Well, I'm not using buses because of the car, but sometimes I'm using the national rail, especially in the summer when I travel by bike. I like to go further with the train, so let's say 5,000 kilometers by train. And let's skip the secondary carbon for now. We're gonna do it in the other calculators and show our results. So, this calculator just told me that my total carbon offset is 11,000 tons of CO2 equivalent. And as you can see, this is my footprint, while the world average footprint is around 4.69. So as you can see, even by a graphic mode, my carbon footprint is much bigger than the world average and much even bigger than the Poland average, which is 8.24 tons. So when we see here, my household generates much more of my carbon footprint, and the car, the bus and rail, almost nothing. So this is the natural gas that we are using for heating. Yeah, it generates much of carbon footprint. Okay, but let's try something new. The ecological footprint calculator is a much better and much funner tool. It has many questions that we need to answer. So perhaps could I invite someone of you? It's gonna be just a few minutes, I promise. So we can generate the carbon footprint for somebody in the crowd. Yeah, do you have some volunteers? Don't be shy. I will do everything, I promise. I'm just gonna ask you questions. Yeah, please, come on up. So, what's your name? Uman. Christian, hi, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. So, let's start by how often do you eat animal-based products? We have never, very often. Often, very often, occasionally, infrequently, or never?
No, often, like in between.
Like often?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Let's move on. So now, how much of the food that you eat is unprocessed, unpackaged, and locally grown? It means less than 320 kilometers away, something like that. And we have a percentage here. How do you think?
Like unprocessed, unpackaged, and locally grown, like 40%.
40%.
I think so.
Okay, the next question, which housing type best describes your home? So freestanding, multi-story apartment, duplex, or luxury condominium? Yeah, do you live in an apartment or in the freestanding home?
Like I'm living a freestanding home.
Freestanding home?
Yeah.
Okay. Next, what material is your house constructed with? So, brick, steel, wood?
Brick.
Brick. How many people live in your household?
In my household, we are living 7.
7.
Yeah.
Okay, and what is the size of your home in square meters? Do you know?
In square meters?
In square meters, yeah.
I'm not sure about.
So medium is about 130, large is about 200.
Like you have to calculate. It's about like. I'm not sure.
Yeah, 7 people, I think it would be large, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, next. Do you have electricity in your home?
Yes, of course.
Of course. And how energy efficient is your home? We have average, below average, or above average.
Like, what do you mean by efficiency?
Do you have some renewable energy sources like solar panels
Yes.
or heat pump? Yeah, is a house built in efficient materials, stuff like that? Let's say average.
Yes, because we don't have like solar panels or something like that.
Okay, what percent of your home's electricity comes from renewable sources? So low, medium, or high?
Medium.
Medium. So let's say 50%. Okay, compared to your neighbors, how much trash do you generate? As much as your neighbors, or less, more?
No,
Yeah,
we like less from neighbors.
less from neighbors.
Because as
That's a good.
environmental protection student, so
Okay, how far do you travel by car or motorcycle? Do you travel by car or motorcycle?
motorcycle.
Motorcycles, okay. Each week, how would you say? How many kilometers each week?
Each week,
Each week, yeah.
you can say daily 12 to 15 kilometers daily, and in like
So about 100?
yes, 150 kilometers.
Okay. Okay. Next, what is the average fuel economy of your vehicle? I think the bikes will be quite,
Less, yeah.
yeah, something about 2 liters. Okay, when do you travel by car? How often do you carpool? Yeah, never, because it's a
Yeah.
bike. And how far do you travel on public transportation each week? Do you use public transportation?
Yes, of course.
Yes. And not far, very far, medium,
Medium.
medium, let's say. Okay, how many hours do you fly each year?
Each year.
Yeah? How many flights did you have last year?
Last year, only one time.
Only one time?
I came from Pakistan to Poland.
Okay, so it's about 6-hour flight or less?
It's about 9 hours.
9 hours, okay. So 2 times, so it will be 18. So now, we have calculated your ecological footprint in 6.5 global hectares of GHA. So a global hectare is a biologically productive hectare with world average productivity, and currently on our planet is about 1.7 global hectare per person. So 1.7 per person, and yours is 7.5, so much, much bigger. So 60% of your ecological footprint is only the carbon footprint. Yeah? So it's produced by your mobility. Even in this chart, you can see that the mobility and food is most of your usage. The shelter is very good. Goods and services also are on the good level, but the food and mobility are quite fine. And my favorite part at the end, how do you feel? Shocked, inspired, helpless, intrigued, worried, embarrassed, or confused?
Like after this,
After this calculation, yeah, did you expect that you are much above average?
no, I didn't expect
No.
before, so I'm shocked.
I'm shocked, yeah.
So, I think I have to overcome this like this one. So.
Yeah, so every one of you can make this calculation for yourself. Thank you very much for your time. Yeah. Okay, so the 8 billion trees carbon footprint calculator is always a great, also a great tool, but it measures the carbon footprint, not ecological, but carbon, but it also has a few questions similar to the last one. So perhaps somebody from the audience would like to join me and see what is their carbon footprint, this time not ecological one. Come on, don't be shy. Yeah, please, come on. Hey, what's your name? Christian, nice to meet you. So, what country are you from?
A country, Ukraine.
Ukraine. Okay, how many adults lives in your house?
2.
2. Do you have Energy Star light bulbs?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you have Energy Star windows?
No.
What type of fuel do you use for home heating and cooling? So fossil, electricity, green electric, or none?
If it's mixed.
Mixed, so let's say electricity, right?
Yes.
Yeah, do you have an Energy Star refrigerator? I think everybody does, right?
Yes.
Okay. Do your appliances stay turned off, unplugged, or on standby?
It is state and turned off.
Stand off?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Is only cold water used for your laundry?
No.
No. Do you have cats?
Yes.
How many cats?
1.
Do you have dogs?
No.
What size square footage is your home? So small apartment, average, large, or other?
I don't know. Maybe average.
Ah, okay. How do you get around? Walk or bike, ride the bus or train, small vehicle, large vehicle.
I ride the bus or train.
Ride the bus or train. Do you own a boat?
No.
So how many miles do you fly each year?
Each year.
Each year, yeah.
Can you transfer it into kilometers?
500 miles is about 750 kilometers.
Okay, 500.
Okay. How much do you spend on furniture a month? It's in dollars.
Okay, understand. Under
Under $50. Okay. How much do you spend on appliance purchase each month?
I think under
Under. How much do you spend on clothing?
0.
0. Okay. How much do you spend on stuff like beauty products, electronics, etc.?
It's under 100.
Under 100. And how much do you spend on services like beauty appointments, phone bills, etc.?
Under 100.
Under 100. Are you a vegetarian or vegan?
I'm not.
Neither. How often do you have dairy products? Twice a week, every day, multiple times a
One
day?
a week.
One a week.
It is times per week.
So every day or twice a week?
Like every day, okay. Yeah.
Every day. Okay. How often do you eat red meat? Twice a week, every day, or multiple times a day?
Other.
Other. So how many times a week?
0.
0. Okay. How often do you eat other proteins?
Every day.
Every day. Yeah. How many times each week do you eat out?
0.
0. What percentage of food do you waste?
0.
And percentage of products either self-grown or bought locally?
It is bought locally.
Bought locally, yeah? From 10 to 25, 25 to 50? Or
More
more than 50? Okay, do you think climate change is happening?
Of course.
Yep. Are you worried about the global warming?
Not at all.
Okay. Global warming will harm the next generation, do you agree?
Yes.
Global warming is already harming us.
Yes.
And global warming is harming animal wildlife.
Yes.
And should governments regulate CO2 as a pollution?
Yes.
Okay, so this is your results. So your carbon emission places you in the top 88% of the world. So this is you. Yeah, this is world average. So you are like a world average. Yeah, smaller than France and UK.
I'm
yeah?
good or I'm billion?
You are very good. When I did it today, I had 11, so I was much below average.
Thank
So, yeah, this section compares you to the other countries, and your ecological, your carbon footprint is in a very good level. So
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, so next one is the World Wildlife Foundation. It's another carbon footprint calculator. It's a similar question about your diet, about your daily routines. So perhaps somebody would like to try it? Yeah, thanks. Come on. So what's your name? Hi, I'm Christian. Nice to meet you. So, how would you best describe your diet? Do you eat meat in every day? No beef?
No,
Vegetarian?
I'm vegetable, yeah.
Or vegan?
No, vegetarian.
Vegetarian.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, in a week, how much do you spend on food from restaurants, canteens, or takeaways?
From between 10 and 60.
From 10 to 60. Okay. On the food you buy, how much is wasted or thrown away?
Food,
What do you think? None or 10%?
maybe one. No, yeah,
None.
yeah.
That's good.
Sure about that.
So how often do you buy locally produced food that is not important to the UK? UK because this calculation is for the UK.
Yeah, okay. Maybe some of, yeah.
Some of the food
Yeah.
is bought locally. Okay. So what kind of vehicle do you travel? Car, motorbike, or you walk or use public transport?
Depends, but motorbike.
Motorbike.
Yeah.
Okay. How many hours a week do you spend in your car or on your motorbike for personal use, including commuting? So under 2 hours.
Between 5 and 15 hours.
5 and 15,
Yeah.
okay. That's a lot. How many hours a week do you spend on the train? Or you don't travel
Yeah,
by train?
maybe.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
exactly.
You don't travel by train, okay. So do you travel by bus?
Yeah.
Yeah?
From like 3 to 6 hours.
3 to 6 hours. Okay, did you have many domestic flights or flights to Europe in the last year?
Yeah, like three or four like that.
Okay. Outside Europe or?
No, just Europe and ASEAN too. Yeah.
So let's say domestic flights.
Yeah, domestic.
Okay,
Yeah.
so 3 domestic flights. So what percentage of flights do you offset? Do you know what it means?
No.
Yeah, sometimes when you buy a plane ticket, there is an option when you can offset your carbon footprint by paying some donation.
Maybe
Yeah?
25%.
25%, okay. What kind of house do you live in? Detached, semi-detached, terrace or flat?
Detached.
Detached.
Yeah.
Okay, how many bedrooms do you have?
It's like 4.
4 or more?
Yeah.
Okay, how many people age 17 and over live in your house?
It's like 6.
It's 5 or more.
Yeah, people more.
Okay.
It's a lot, no? It's not a lot?
It's not a lot, yeah. How do you heat your home? Gas, oil, electricity, wood or heat pump?
Electricity.
Electricity.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is your electricity a green tariff? There is also, I don't know.
I don't know exactly what.
Okay. Do you regularly turn off lights and not leave your appliances on standby?
No.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. How warm do you keep your home in winter?
Just it's over.
Over, okay.
21. Seriously.
So, which of these home energy efficient improvements do you have? Do you have energy saving light bulbs?
No.
No. A loft insulation?
No.
Cavity or solid water?
No.
Condensing boiler?
What's mean exactly?
Condensing boiler is a thing for the water to heat it up.
No.
Double glazing?
No.
Fittings of taps and showers? Solar panels?
Yeah, we have.
And solar water heater?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, in the last 12 months, have you bought any of these household items? Did you bought a new TV, laptop, or PC in the last year?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
A large item or furniture?
No.
No. A washing machine, dishwasher, or dryer,
Yeah.
freezer?
Yeah.
And mobile phone or tablet?
Yeah.
Okay. In a typical month, how much do you spend on clothes and footwear?
Maybe between 60
100.
to 100. Yeah.
Okay. In a typical month, how much do you spend on pets or pet food? Or do you don't have pets?
No, I don't.
Okay. And in a typical month, how much do you spend on health, beauty, and grooming products?
Beauty?
Yeah. Like cosmetics?
Yeah, cosmetic. No, 0.
0.
Yeah. It's natural. My beauty is natural.
Of course it is. In a typical month, how much do you spend on phone, internet, and TV bills?
Between 1 pound to
35.
35.
Okay. In a typical month, how much do you spend on entertainment and hobbies like sports, cinema, books?
The second option exactly.
This.
Between 25 to.
Okay. Which of these types of waste do you recycle? Do you recycle food,
Yeah.
paper,
Yeah.
tin cans,
Yeah.
plastic,
Yeah.
and glass?
Yeah.
Everything. Great. So, you are 18 over and get the results. So now, your footprint is equal to 13.4 tons, while the average in the UK is 8.8. So it's 152, and world average is 6.3. So it's 2 times bigger than the average in the world. Do you find this surprising?
Surprising. So.
I have even bigger, I must admit. So,
For sure.
yeah.
It's not exactly is negative for me.
Yeah, 24% is your home, 15% is food, 15% stuff, and almost 50% is travel.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah. So even you are not using a car but motorbike, which has low emissions.
That's why exactly.
Exactly.
Maybe. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, and the last calculator I wanted to show you is my favorite one because it has many more options. You can calculate a single flights, a single car trips, or your carbon footprint like we did before, or for example, the events. And this is what I wanted to show you, how much carbon footprint can be generated by an event. Yeah, we already did flights, we did carbon footprint and cars, so this calculator gives us the information about some events that we would like to organize. So let's name this event conference. Let's say it would be a 2-day conference. It will be held in Poland, of course. And let's say it will be about 100 participants and I don't know, 15 organizers. Heated area, let's say, how many meters is this? About 250, I think. No, not heated, sorry, air conditioned. And let's move on. So now we are asking us how many people are arriving by car. Let's say half of people would arrive by car and the average distance travel will be around 200 kilometers. Now, let's say 25 people will arrive by public transport, let's say around 200 kilometers as well, and number of short-haul flights, let's say 15, maybe 5 medium, and I don't think anyone would bother to long-haul flight to Poland, so let's stay with the short and medium ones. And percentage of a business class, let's say 10%. Okay, so the number of overnight stays in 2- and 3-star hotels. So let's say the most of our guests, let's say 80, will need to stay in a hotel. 4 stars, 4 and 5, I wish, no, only 2-star hotels. Okay, and what about the catering? So amount of meals not vegetarian. So most of Polish people are usually not vegetarian, so let's say 80. And about 20 vegetarian. Yeah, of course, everybody would like a snack, everybody would like a soft drink, coffee, let's say 80, and 20 teas. Wine, beer, and spirits. Well, no, don't. We are Polish, we like to drink, sorry. So let's say 10 bottles of wine, 20 beers, and I don't know, 10 liters of some of vodka, of course. So, what will be the power consumption? I think the air condition will be the most one, so let's say, maybe 200 kilowatts. It is not a green energy. And do we print some material? I think, yeah, usually in a conference we should print some materials, so let's say 5 kilos. We can generate some plastic, some recyclable materials, wood, carton, paper-based materials, so, and area to stand, let's say about 10 meters. So, the transport used for our conference, the transport weight is not much, I think about 2 tons. Average distance, let's say 200, delivery van, and we will do some residual waste, about 50 kilos, let's say, and 20 recycled. So, of course, this all data was from the top of my head, but as you can see, this calculator gives us the estimation, and as you can see, almost 80% of this conference would be the mobility of all of our guests. Next would be the accommodation, yeah, the transport, and the other ones are very low numbers. And this calculator also showed us how much would we have to pay to offset this carbon footprint. So it would cost us 900 euros to pay for some to take responsibility of our CO2 emission to compensate it. And also, this is very nice chart that showed us how much tons of CO2 our conference produced and what is the average annual amount of CO2 generated by a single person. Yeah, so it is 7.2 tons of CO2. So one conference is about 5 times about what a single person should use in the entire year. So it's a very nice calculator. I encourage you to do the calculation yourself for your footprint or for the flights or for your car trips. It gives us a very nice results. So I'm gonna go to the end now. I wanted to mention about the tree planting projects. Yeah, so our alliance strategy to mitigate the CO2 emissions. So how much does a tree capture? So this is amazing chart that I downloaded from 8billiontrees.com. It showed us how much carbon a tree captures by species over its entire lifetime. So as you can see here, of course, the coastal redwood trees can capture about 500,000 pounds of CO2. Yeah, do you know what it is, coastal redwood trees? Yep. Sorry? Sorry, I can't hear you.
I was just wondering where the trees are planted.
Well, these trees or which ones?
Yes, I mean the ones you use for your project to mitigate the effects.
We haven't started planting them yet. We just preparing the tree planting projects. So each of the alliance member will produce tree planting projects, and we are gonna plant them. So not even a single tree was planted yet.
But do you know where they will be planted? Because, I mean, if they will be like usually planted in South America, then this will cause other effects for the population there, like increase of food prices because there will be less arable land and such things.
Yeah, so the trees gonna be planted locally in the, here at SGGW. I'm sure it will be our campus and other universities, so also around the city that they are from. Okay, do you know? Yep.
Do you have any, let me say, sustainability criteria for the trees? For example, invasive species, or maybe some places where it's prohibited to plant trees. Will you use the sustainability criteria of sustainability?
No, as I said, we didn't prepare any tree planting projects yet. We are still working on the whole methodology, so I don't even know where we're gonna plant the trees or how we're gonna do it.
Thank you.
Okay, so coastal redwood trees, yeah, do you know what the kind of tree is it? The sequoias? Yeah, tallest trees in the world, yeah? So they can capture over 500,000 of CO2, yeah, mainly because they are can live over 2,000 years, yeah? So also the English oak trees and trees like sycamores can capture much, and gum species can capture a huge amounts of CO2. And at the very end, I wanted to show you the carbon capture calculator. It's a very simple tool, also can be used online, to show how much a single tree can capture of the CO2 emissions. So it is a very easy tool. We are choosing the 3 species. Let's say I have one tree in my yard. It's an oak tree, and it has about 20 years. And if we click calculate, it gives us the amount of leaves that this tree has, so around 600,000 of leaves. and how much carbon can capture each year, so 0.2 pounds each year. Also gives us the data about the total oxygen produced and total pounds of carbon stored in branches each year. And now I wanted to show you the oldest tree at our campus. It is called the Julian Ursyn Niemcewicz tree. It's a black walnut that has over 200 years, and it was actually presented to Julian Ursyn Niemcewicz by the George Washington, so the first president of the United States, while Julian Ursyn Niemcewicz was visiting the United States, and then planted this tree here at our campus. The district that you are in is called Ursynów, so it's from the second night of Julian Ursyn Niemcewicz. And this tree, I used the My Tree calculator, which gives us some data about this tree. So it told us how much carbon equivalent can it capture, so 108. The stormwater mitigation, air pollution removal, energy usage. It's very, very easy to use. So perhaps we can do a little example of our tree. When you enter the calculator, the Google Maps appear, and you can choose any place in the world to choose a tree. You can name it, let's say here in this park. And now we are describing this tree. Let's say it's an example. Now we are choosing the tree condition. Let's say it's good. The trunk size in inches, so let's say about 40. Full sun exposure, and it's not within the 60 feet of a building. And of course we need to choose a species. Let's say it would be oak. And now, after a short calculation, the My Tree calculator is showing us all the benefits and the equivalence of our tree. So, with care and maintenance, after 20 years, this tree could potentially offset 8,000 miles worth of CO2 emitted from the average gas-powered passenger car, or absorb enough stormwater to fill 5,000 bathtubs. So, of course, you can choose every tree, just give a simple data, and this calculator will show you all the benefits and equivalence of a single tree. Okay, so that will be all from me. I would like to thank you very much for listening, and also thank you for participating and calculating your footprint with me. Thank you. I'd like to thank my entire UniGreen team, Professor Beata Gawryszewska, Aneta Peżanowska, and Renata Putkowska-Smoter, and of course our wonderful coordinator, Karol Chrobak, who is here with us. And thank you one more time, and see you.